Greetings. Good afternoon, family. I'm in the pleasure of being or interviewing or introducing this afternoon Sister Eymbi, better known as Empress Divine. Such a powerful woman in the community that have been working with our people in the health in health for 25 years and for over 25 years. And she have done lots of work with people like Brother Dougie. When he was alive, he was quite well known in the community. She have worked with people like Darren, Dr. Knox. She have been there from the creation, from the genesis of consciousness in the community. So I'm in the pleasure of meeting her this afternoon. She have a PowerPoint presentation, and she can again tell you a little bit about herself because so many things she have done. She can also help me introduce herself by telling you a lot of what she does again, including body M.O.T, and she can take over and do everything she's doing in the community. Thank you. Welcome, Sister Eymbi.
Hi, greetings. It's wonderful to be here. It's an amazing pleasure. So my name's Empress Divine. I'm also called the Natural Wellbeing Specialist in Body M.O.T. So I do Body M.O.T Biochemical Assessments. So I specialize and focus on that. Previously, I was doing a lot of work surrounding therapies. So as you said, over 25 years of holistic health therapies, whether it be tapping, reflexology, sports therapy, massage, Indian head massage, Reiki, um, crystal and energy, sound healing. I've done a whole range, but my focus and passion has now been on body MOT because I'm very interested in terms of what's going on the inside of the body. I want to be able to restore the body. So I provide a whole range of different services alongside the energetic work that I do, whether it be walking, I take people in nature in order to connect with the natural aspect of our external world so that our internal world can be balanced. My company is called M.O.T Solutions Limited, and it is more or less a sanctuary which helps to transform many individuals who are looking for natural healing, natural herbs, natural balance, and natural order of the body. So many of the products that I have are handcrafted, such as what needs to be worked on for the skin. So shea butter is something that is just food for the skin. So I do a whole range of that, from lemongrass to lavender, geranium, which is quite relaxing, to what's good for your foot bottom, which is the pineapple and um, pineapple and mango, which is really, really nourishing. Internal work, whether it be detoxing, cleansing, high blood pressure, we have a whole range of different ailments that are affecting certain individuals. So there's a whole range of different products that you can check my website and have a look there. So today I'm going to be talking about the truth revealed, the strong black woman's myth, how it's led to depression, pain, and turmoil, and even more, because this aspect of our women being strong is quite interesting. First of all, I'd like to give thanks and honor, I'll come back to that, to some of our elders who have been in the health environment for a long time, and these are our elders who have passed on. That is Dr. Lelo Africa, Dr. Sebi, as well as Professor Charles Sully. And you also mentioned Elder Dougie, who has been a warm influence in terms of bringing our people together, bringing and raising our awareness and just raising our vibrations. Okay, so let me go back a little bit here. Um, so we want to look at that definition, strong black woman. And I think we've heard this term many times. Have you heard it?
100%. Yeah, I've heard it.
Yeah, so usually this term is relating to the expectation that we as women are very tolerant of all kinds of pain, um, and that we stay happy and silent about it, that we are not affected emotionally, physically, or mentally by any form of pain because we've got endless amount of resilience, we're self-sacrificing, we carry all, we are able to build others up while we are having to keep people standing on our shoulders. So oftentimes when women are wanting to have pain relief, for example, in regards to some of the celebrities have had some heat when it has come to this, they're giving birth, for example, they need some sort of pain relief. The medical people have turned around and told them, no, it's okay, you can carry on and you can carry on. So we're not listened to, we're not heard, and we're not addressed in terms of what our feelings are, what our words are. It's just assumed that um, you can just take any amount of pain and it doesn't really matter. So this obviously isn't true because we all have our own pain threshold. We have blood and we bleed. We have emotions and we feel. Um, we come to a point where we are expected to be the fixers in all aspects of life and not be able to be challenged or say anything about it because we're expected to be humble and self serving in terms of everybody else's expectations. Now, you can interject anytime that you want because I'd like it to be more of a conversation rather than
Okay,
just
cool, cool,
presentation.
cool, cool. All right,
Yeah.
no problem. Yeah.
So, I do want to look at how briefly the body is made up. So the body is very self-regulating, and we are able to rebuild ourselves uh, in different stages of different lengths of time, depending on what areas of our body that we're talking about. So every 2 years, you can expect that over 98% of our bodies is going to be more or less regenerated. We have trillions of cells that is being rebirth renewed every single day. Now,
Mm-hmm.
our DNA renews itself more or less every couple of months, a good 2 months. Our DNA is going to be moving through all sorts of generational healing, generational shedding, so that all the materials that we are taking in externally, internally, or the energies that we use for food or the energies that we use in an environment such as the sun, it is transforming in different ways, such as our skin. Every 3 to 4 weeks, our skin is rebuilding, our liver is rebuilding around every 6 weeks, our stomach lining is rebuilding around about every 5 days. Our brain cells are rebuilding in various different stages, but it could take anything between a couple of months to a year. So it's very important how we are ingesting, how we're thinking, all the words that we have in terms of thoughts. There's 80,000 thoughts that we'll be contemplating on a regular basis. So if a high percentage of that is negative, imagine the cells are listening to that and taking it on as truth. So our bodies are feeding off the vibration of those words, which become a reality. So our brains are very, very perceptive and receptive to all the information that is around us. So our blood is again rebuilding every 4 months. Our bones can take anything between 3 months to even 10 years. And everything that we are taking in is a matter of what we are calling the material that is building our DNA, our skin, our liver, our stomach lining, our brain, our blood, our bones, our muscles, our everything basically within our system. So these are only just some of the building blocks in order to help our bodies to regenerate. Now, if at any time we decide that we are going to be um, nutrients or food, then the earlier we are eating in terms of our age, we have what's called um, certain amount of collagen that is able to sustain our balance, our harmonious development or strength or elasticity, so that we're able to move very quickly with movement. We're able to digest quite easily. Our stomach linings are not burnt out, and our stem cells are able to cope much effectively. Now, as we get older, especially once we get to the ages of 30, 35, our bodies start to degenerate in a way that our cells are not regenerating as quickly as they used to and springing back with the vigor of what it had before. So our bones are starting to creak. Our bones are starting to have much more perforated holes in them. So they're drier, where our hydration is starting to go down. We're not keeping the cells hydrated long enough in order for us to feel well, for the skin to look moist or buoyant, so that the collagen is looking vibrant, or our eyes are looking sparkly, or our hearing or our environment within our bodies are coping with the level of energy that we need to intake, whether it be food, whether it be sun. In terms of hormonal D, our body is going to be degenerating very quickly once we start to touch certain ages. Now, if we go back a little bit, when women are going through stages of hormonal changes in regards to um, more or less taking contraceptions, then this has a massive impact on the body. This can allow the body to speed up in certain ways where it's going to degenerate. So it's going to have a massive impact later on in life, especially when you can think about all the vaccines people have been taking from birth. Then we've got the different types of um, stages of contraception. So people may have tried different types because they're not ready um, when they're in their late teens or early 20s or even 30s, because they're building their future, or they're looking for the appropriate relationship. So the medications that we're taking is infusing into the body as poison. So the body has to do something with it. And oftentimes, women are facing different issues, such as imbalances in the womb, whether it be endometritis, fibroids, high blood pressure. So many different illnesses start to impact the body because we're not now taking on nature, we're taking on a different style of medication or drug, to put it in its raw state, in order to block the hormones within the body from producing a child. It has a massive effect, especially as women go through their different stages of menopause, premenopause, and um, perimenopause. Now, all of these stages makes it very, very difficult. Coupled on top of that, the types of materials that we're taking as food. So, as you probably know, we're moved into the generation of genetic modified foods. We're moved into the world of 3D printing of foods. So, a lot of the foods that are fast foods, whether it be like a burger or whatever the case may be, or packaged foods or microwave foods that people are taking in as food, are robbing the cells, they're robbing our energies, they're robbing our life force of the nutrients that we really need. So the digestive system is going to be under a serious load in terms of being able to balance itself so that we're able to comfortably digest all the food properly so that it will go to its appropriate places so that the nutrients, the blood, the oxygen that we need in order to run all of our systems is moving in the working in the right way and giving us the energy that we need to stand up, to go to sleep, to um, sustain whatever activities that we do in the day, whether we go to work, whether we go to school, whether we study, whatever that we're doing, and looking after our families. Now, the body is a very sophisticated machine. Once we give it the right materials and the right energy, and we focus on movement so that the lymphatic system is able to move the lymph glands around the body so that it can remove some of the waste, some of the toxins in our body, such as the work that the liver has to do, then we're in a stage whereby the body is working in the correct way. But
Okay, can
once it
can I ask
isn't
a question?
working,
Can I ask a question?
sure,
Yes, let me ask you. You're talking about printing food.
say that.
Um, you're talking about foods that's printed. Can you explain to the audience what that means? Because some of them might never heard that before. What do you mean when you say printed food?
A lot of the prepackaged foods now have been, there's not enough animals, there's not enough cows, chickens, whatever the animals are on the
Mhm,
planet in order to feed people on a regular basis in terms of what we would sustainably call natural organic animals. There isn't nearly enough on the
mhm,
planet anymore.
mhm,
So since that decline has happened, there's been a lot of experimentations. So there's different types of feeds that's been given to them, and sometimes they are being ill and coming back with, you name it, these are very obscure diseases, whether it be
mhm,
foot and mouth, whether it be they're just holding, especially when you look at chickens. Um, a lot of the companies can't call it chicken anymore
Hmm.
because they're holding a lot of these uh, they're being put into cages. Do they see the light of day? Oftentimes they don't. So they don't have beaks, they don't have feathers. They would normally take for a chicken to grow several months. So instead of them being able to grow well in that time in its natural environment, there is a speeding up of the process. They're being vaccinated so that they're not getting a lot of the illnesses. So the hormones that will go directly into the body, into the energy centers of the women or men, is affecting the hormonal development of our bodies. So it's throwing us off. The 3D or the 5D printing has come up because it's finding an efficient way of producing um, meat or producing fish, whatever it is, you know, or it could be we're now in the new area of meat free. So those that are gone on the bandwagon of wanting to eat healthy, fast foods that are vegetarian or vegan foods, they're not necessarily um, made out of real food. So the 3D printing of these foods are, are what's being utilized. So it could be made out of literally anything, far from what we think is actual real food.
You spoke about diabetes or and high blood pressure. W- it- can those artificial food or those printed food trigger certain elements in the body when you will have to come in place now and they will have to call your company to help bring them back up to scratch. So does the food mess them up and then you now have to do the work now to help them with the high blood pressure and diabetes? So can that food mess them up when they will have to call you?
I would say that we've jumped into a world that is very good at advertising. So when they're advertising that it's good to have the soda drinks, the high sugar drinks, the cheeses, the the idea that milk is good for you, this has an effect on the body. The body wants to be able to take on energy that is real. If it's not, then it's going to quarantine it so that it doesn't disturb the body too much. But it can only hold it for a period of time so that it will quarantine it. So it will turn it into a tumor. It will hold it for as long as possible before it then spreads into um, the skin, and it's going through the surface of the skin in order to come up as maybe a bump or a pimple or a rash. Now
Hmm.
that's the body's form of saying, "Hold on, you're giving me something that isn't quite. I don't really know what to do with this because it's not exactly from nature." That is balanced for the body. So the body is now trying to clean itself by throwing it out, or it can go back into the liver. The liver can't cope. It can go back into the hormonal systems. It can go any part of the body and come up as maybe an illness or an imbalance or a disease. Now, to do something such as a body M.O.T biochemical assessment, we're able to check all the 11 systems of the body so that we can see what is happening with the digestive system, the um, the blood, the the muscular system, all the 11 systems, basically, as well as the pancreas and the nutrition levels. Now, once we look at what's called biomarkers, these biomarkers are able to tell you exactly what is happening. Do you have more than half the biomarkers that are now in the red, that are now into a level of trouble, degeneration, rather than healthy cells that are maybe in the green? So the healthy biomarkers that could be in the green, if they are outweighing, so if the biomarkers that are in the red that are outweighing the ones that are in the green, then there are several different aspects of or systems of the body that's affected, not just from nutritional point of view, but the skin, for example, the endocrine system could be affected, the blood could be affected, the skin could be affected, the brain, the bones, and so on could be affected. So all of these different aspects of the body is looked at. The biomarkers give us a good indication as to the condition and the health of the body. One gets a report in order to find out exactly what is it that we now are presented with and how do we go forward. I usually write up a report which is very comprehensive, that looks at how we can balance as much as the body as possible. So one then goes on to a 90-day program in order to do a cleanse. One of our main things is digestion. So digestion is usually one of the first port of call. The elements of earth, air, fire, water are the elements that we work on in order to get those balanced. So the hydration level, as I mentioned earlier, if we are not hydrating our body very well, after the age of 30, our bodies start to degenerate so that we're not easily holding and retaining water within our cells because it's now blocked. So situations of hair falling, which is some of the symptoms of people who are suffering with diabetes, it's also compounded with some of the medications that they're taking. The pancreas is finding it very difficult to regulate itself. So the drugs is something as an experiment, really, to see how people can help regulate, but people are usually on it for life rather than for a short period of time to balance their body and then come off it, unfortunately. So there's a lot of work to be done because we've developed ourselves with habits, cultures, and systems. So as we grow up in families, it's not so much that it's running in the DNA or the family, it's running because this is what we're used to. So if you're showing your child that, okay, we need to have eggs and bacon for breakfast, and this is what you have throughout your life, the body is starting to find it very, very difficult later on to cope with. So diseases start to come up. The amount of mucus that's built up into the body is finding it very, very difficult to balance and find its equilibrium.
Empress Divine,
The
when you
M.O.T is something that people are able to check their systems and balance, especially with a program.
Empress Divine, when you said a while ago, people eating certain foods and then later on they come out. It happens that they fell ill as a result of what they're eating. Could that be one of the reasons why in our community so many people have so many problems? You see so many young people with walking sticks. You see so many people with high blood pressure. Could that be one of the causes? And can environment cause us to be where we are today?
Absolutely. As I said earlier, once we are taking on the materials of food into our bodies, it's making up our cells, it's making up our skeletal, it's making up our muscles, it's making up our blood, it's making up everything. So we're taking on food for what purpose? For energy, for rebuilding, for regenerating. So any waste that's supposed to be processed through the body has its time for coming out of the body. But if it stays within the system of the body for too long, it builds up all kinds of illnesses. So different types of food is not going to sit well with the body. What I find interesting with a whole range of my clients is whether they've got fibroids or prostate, for example, or whether they've got joint knee pain. I find that people have got their favorite foods. So the favorite foods will be sugar, and they're not taking the sugar through natural form, such as a fruit. They're taking it through um, the the
The
high content
caramelized process.
of high processed sugars.
Mhm.
So whether it be aspartame, spirulina, or not spirulina, Splenda, all of these different types of um, sugars, which are hundreds of times more sweeter than the natural sugar. This sugar is enough to rot steel. Yeah, is enough to rot. So it can burn a hole. So if it can burn a hole, then it's burning the hole in through the material of your body, into your bones, into your fascia, into your muscles. So is really burning a hole. It burns a hole into the stomach lining also. So to even think about digesting um, dairy or even milk when we are moved into this habit, because we're not cows, but at the same time, these types of um, foods are really reserved for the calf. So the milk is for the cow. The cow is there to feed its calf. And if we're taking it, well, what's happened there? We're not thinking anymore logically with our brains. Our milk, as humans, we do produce our own milk.
Hmm.
We have our own milk. So that's for our babies.
Mm-hmm.
And nature produces milk.
Mm-hmm.
We can get it all from the seeds and all from the nuts. So there's a whole range of milks in nature, whether it be almond, um, Brazil, hemp. We've got a whole range of nuts and seeds, hemp, um, sunflower seeds. There's a whole range. But we've moved away from that. We've moved away from nature so much because we want things fast. It's going to take a little time to process that water and the nut or the seed, blend it, and then squeeze it so that we have what? Milk. We've got milk, and it's highly nutritious. But we don't want to do that. I mean, there are some companies that do it in the box, but by the time you read the information that's on there, then there's a high level of other things in there that is more for preservative. So by the time it comes into your system, into your body, it may not be too happy in your stomach lining. Your stomach lining can only take so much.
Mm-hmm. Well, then I'm enjoying the discussion, and and it's good that you have taken a lot of your time to investigate and to come and share the knowledge that you have over the past over 25 years with the audience. You can continue very well.
Yeah, we are the most studied. people on the planet. We've got 12 um, melanin brain receptors in our heads, yeah. Whereas the other groups they only have 4. So technology has been based on us for a long time. So a lot of the studies in terms of our melanin, studies in terms of um, looking at, you know, what is our pain threshold. So doing um, cutting our bellies open or wombs open so that they can have a look, or to take the child out without giving any um, form of painkillers have been done for many, many years. And it's part of the resilience that they feel that we can more or less cope with. So many years ago, during times of slavery, they didn't think that they didn't regard us as human beings. They regarded us as properties or as animals or lesser than. So we were experimented over long periods of time without any um, form of regard. So you can think about Henrietta Lacks. They took her cells in order to test for many years, for over 20 years after she passed away, with no disregard. So they just kept sharing it around. So it just went to test many things, from cosmetics to um, you name it, it's been tested for cancer. It's been tested for so many different things. You had the Tuscany syphilis, where they allowed the men and their families to suffer for many, many years until they got caught. They really allowed them to suffer for many years. So we are the most tested for our melanin. Our melanin is worth more than gold. Every group of people are wanting to um, use suntan in order to get as close as possible. But they're doing more than that. They're extracting melanin directly from fetus or um, or babies at very early stages. In so many different ways, so many different forms, without necessarily our knowledge or our consent. So our bodies are highly um, sophisticated, from the idea of the advanced technology. Our hair, our beautiful natural hair that has been mocked for how many years in so many ways, that we're supposed to, one, either cover it up, two, straighten it or process it, or even, try and have it as close to accepted other groups of how they have their hair. But our hair is very, very um, interesting, because it's our antennas, and antennas are our way of feeling out the environment. We feel our environment through our antennas, just like certain animals that have feelers on the top of their head. They have the antennas, they're able to scan the environment and pick up the vibrations of energies through our antennas, which is in our case our hair. So our hair is very, very important. To destroy it in any way is going to be very destructive. And it's been destroyed not just through the chemicals that's been used, but through the types of foods that we're eating, or even the drugs that people are taking as medication. So that has an impact. So if you think about things like it's been in the news reported how contraception has caused an impact, and how the hair creams has had an impact on causing cancers on the hair. Our eyes are so deep in terms of being able to see long distances. It is our cameras. It's based on the camera. It's our lens through the outside world and the inside world. So our lens is a way of how we see, as well as our uh, internal vision as well. Our ears are satellites. Our nose are our senses. Our heart are generators, because we've got electrical and magnetic fields within our bodies, and our heart is our generator. Our brain is our computer, and our pineal gland is our virtual reality. So, yes, our body is um, advanced technology, and this is where technology has had an opportunity to base a lot of things that we use on an everyday basis. I just found that really very, very interesting. But at the same time, we have to be very, very careful where technology is concerned, because things like, although we can see, excuse me, various frequencies much further than the normal average groups of people, we're also in a position to take on illnesses in such a way that can hamper us. So, for example, whereas other people are suffering with um, skin cancer, so skin cancer has been prevalent for certain groups of people, whereby they can't stay out in the sun. Whereas we're concerned, we have been following suit by putting um, sunscreen on our skin. Sunscreen not supposed to be anywhere near our skin. Our skin is going to be taking it on as very quickly and absorbed into our bloodstream. So it's not a good idea for us to be taking everything, because everybody's not the same underneath this. Deep down in us, the cells of our skin, we're not all the same. We're definitely not the same. We process different, we see different, we hear different, our energy is different, our rhythm is different. So we cannot, for example, be taking on things into our skin, because it's our largest organ, to say that we are protecting our skin. We're not protecting, we're damaging the cells of our body as well as our organs, because it goes into the bloodstream and it affects our hormonal systems and other systems in the body. So, sunscreens is definitely a no-no. But I noticed that a lot of children in schools are being encouraged to take sunscreen. A lot of people that are going on holiday are being encouraged to take sunscreen. Our protector is in many forms. The sun is there in order to give us life. So why would you then say that you're protecting yourself from the sun? It's a bit of a myth.
But again, they never told us. So we all think that we all need sunblock, we all need some sunscreen. And we did have sisters looking sizzling in the sun, shining in the sun, not realizing that they are damaging the skin, they're damaging the cells, it go into your bloodstreams. And then later on, you start to look like a roast chicken, and then you do not know why you looking the way you're looking. So it's good that you're sharing that with our family, with the public, to show them there are ways in which things should be done. Well done. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the sun is very powerful. So powerful that we've been told we're not supposed to look into the sun. Now, the sun gazing. Sun gazing has a way of healing the nervous system and balancing the energy frequency of the body with all kinds of illnesses. So once we are sun gazing, for example, at the appropriate times, so it'll be the first light and the last light, then it's giving our body food, it's giving us energy, the type of energy that will feed um, the cells and regenerate the cells. So we've forgotten why the sun is there. The sun is there to grow food. The sun is there to give life. So we know it. We know that the sun is there to give life. So why are we behaving as if it needs to be blocked out? We've got chemtrails that are blocking out. We've got skyscrapers that are blocking out. You know, it's starting to become a problem. If we don't have enough sun in our food, for example, um, I would imagine that those who go on holiday, especially to the Caribbean or maybe on the continent of Africa, they will see the difference in the taste of the food because it's allowed to ripen rather than travel and picked way, 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 way before it's able to ripe. Is it's gonna take it's gonna taste a lot different. It's gonna take a lot longer for you to get anything out of it. You're not really getting nutrients. You're getting something that the body is having to find a way of balancing. But it will struggle. It will definitely struggle. So the sun isn't a demon. It shouldn't be demonized. You know, it's there for us. The sun shines on us. Today it's been very beautiful. It's been very sunny. So this is what we need to do. We need to be topping up our energy with the sun. We need to be topping up our um, electromagnetic fields so that we are receiving energy to feed our hair, our eyes, our ears, our nose, our brain, our pineal gland, so that we can move, so that we can dance, so that we can flow, so that we can think better. Otherwise, we are degenerating, and early stages of degenerating is happening throughout the generations. We're getting dumber and dumber rather than um, finding ourselves or living our purpose. We're not really living our best lives or purpose.
Hmm. Well,
Do you have any questions for me?
um, I don't really have any other question for you. I am looking forward in seeing the next slide that is coming forward after that one. Uh,
That's more or less it. The last slide is really about thought. So we have more than 80,000 thoughts on a regular basis. So our bodies are listening to our thoughts. So the knee has its own universe, its own world. Our hands have its own universe. A finger and a fingernail has its own universe and its own world. Our feet, our toes, our eyes, every aspect of our body, including our thoughts, have its own world. Now, love isn't the highest vibration, but it's one of the vibrations that is of the elevated vibrations that we need to be working with ourselves, as well as peace, as well as joy, rather than fear or sadness. Um, these vibrational emotions come up on the body M.O.T biochemical assessment. So we're able to see and address what frequency people are on in terms of their emotions. So each cell needs to be fed constructive thoughts, not worry, not fear, but love, peace, high vibrational thoughts. Even by a joke, we shouldn't be joking and saying nasty things to ourselves or scathing things to ourselves, because the cells are listening. The cells have its own universe and it's got its work to do. So those thoughts would be turning into a manifestation, whether it's negative or positive. So to keep it on a high vibrational basis so that we can generate ourselves better is one of the best way that we can utilize our energies, our stem cells, our to keep water. I think water is one of the main things that I see within my practice that people are devoid of. And it's not a matter of just drinking copious amount of water, such as it's structured water, it's H3O water. It's water that is going to give you the energy, the frequency, the nutrients that you need within the cells of the body, including salts. When we're not having the right type of salts within the cells to permeate the opportunity for the cells to really absorb the frequency of water, of hydration, of proper hydration. Otherwise, we're getting burnout. The cells are degenerating very quickly because they're not regenerating very well. Then the follicles in the hair is dying off, so the hair is dropping out. The knees are creaking, the back is aching, the different organ systems are having their own complaint as well because there isn't enough water or hydration, shall I say, flowing in the body. People feeling stiff, people feeling imbalanced, not the right type of maybe oils as well within the systems of the body. So all these things add up to building blocks towards balancing the body. So going for our walks in nature, growing our food in agriculture, or buying or purchasing foods that are from natural markets are one of the best things really that we can continue doing, and having pure water, highly processed, purified water, should I say, not processed water. But purified water is very, very easy and simple because the things that we're having out of the plastic bottle, the plastic that's leaching into the water, is causing cancers of all kind,
Mm.
and that's noted for a very, very long time.
Even it's in the sun.
It's left in um, storage for a very long time. The storage, we don't know how clean that is. Does it have rats or urine that's or droppings that's gone over it? For how long? We then use these things. It's easy to get a water tester and test the pureness or the drinkability, shall we say, of these waters, from your tap. Because although our tap water has a lot of chlorine in there, then we also realized that, and waste, but so has the bottled waters, especially the ones that are in plastics. It is very, very causing a lot of problems. It's very simple to purify water out of things such as shungite. Shungite is very, very good to use to purify the water so that it is able to hydrate the cells better, hydrate the bones better, hydrate the blood better, and keep the body functioning on a high vibrational basis. So these are the types of work that I do in terms of supporting people on their journey for high vibrational foods, detox, cleansing, um, and the various programs that I have available for them as well.
Sister Empress Divine, can you have a little focus on fibroids and fibroid myalgia? It's a very
Fibroid?
fibroid myalgia. It's a very common um, tumors that grow in the womb and on top of the womb and cause women massive menstrual problems. Some of them cannot keep a child, sorry, the fetus in them, and it's causing a lot of pain for the women, period problems. Can you talk to the family about those problems that the sisters go through? For a few minutes, just touch on it because I know you will come back next time, to help share with the family a lot more. That's just the introduction because you have a wealth of knowledge to share with us. But can you talk a little bit about fibromyalgia?
Um, well, fibroids is the body has an intelligence within itself, very highly intelligent. And if there's things in the body that the body is needing to defend or attack, then the body is going to do exactly that. So, where the womb is concerned, for something such as fibroids is very, very concentrated, especially within our people, simply because there's a whole range of things. The types of food and the favorite foods that they latch onto. So the types of meats, the hormones that are being injected into the meats, the chicken, the fish, you name it. A lot of these things are going back into the hormones of the body. So the imbalances of the estrogen is off completely. The bleeding, the womb is now having to work very, very hard. So bleeding is a process of it finding a way of cleaning or clearing. So when women are bleeding for excessive bleeding for like more than 5 days, which is a long time, or 20 days, then these types of flooding is a way of the body trying to regulate itself. So it doesn't help when one is having negative thoughts, having lots of stress, not being able to forgive oneself, not being able to relax, taking on a lot of the different aspects of looking after everybody instead of looking after oneself, not cleansing or doing a detox on a regular basis. A detox should be done at least a couple of times a year in order to help reset the body, because when we were children, back in the days, we would have our grandmothers or our mothers give us um, bitters, and these bitters will help to balance and realign or regulate the system of the body. So it will keep down the parasites, it will keep down the waste or the mucus that's building up into the system. I think by then we probably were more lucky to be eating real foods. Now there's a lot of synthetic environments that is giving us more issues. So there's a lot of radiation. Our phones, our devices that we're using, we're sitting down a lot, we're not moving. So the body is locked up in this environment of 90 degrees rather and crunched up. So the body is not being able to move in its own natural way. And it's important for us to um, remember that dancing, walking, exercise is part and parcel of what we used to do as children. Why should it be any different when we get older? The word love has an acronym for me, which means let our visions evolve. We're not able to think if we are under stress, if our bodies are under stress, if our hormones are under attack. If we're in a position where we are able to eat appropriately or not under stress, then the body is going to be able to function the way that it should be, the way it needs to be. We have to rethink some of the issues that we've taken to be a matter of fact, that you go into hospital and you have a child, the child is taken away from you, whatever they're doing with the child to remove this the umbilical cord, the placenta, which should be staying with the mother, which should be staying with the baby. The womb is important to the point that you have fibroids and then you cut the whole womb out, you have a hysterectomy. It's leaving the body raw. So the body doesn't have the hormonal balance for when it needs. So one is taking possibly, in some cases, because not much case now, hormonal replacement, which is all synthetic. God didn't make any mistakes. The Creator didn't make any mistakes. The energy of our bodies have been manipulated because the value of women have been not been respected. You have the Trinity, Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. But where in that do you see the woman? Where do you see the feminine energy? You see the masculine, you see the sun. Or is the woman a ghost?
That's what they make us believe.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So we have been taking on somebody else's ideology of how we should be living, how we should be eating, and what we thought was correct for food. We're taking that on where our bodies are not coping. And we're going to a group of people that we assume have the answers and they don't, because a lot of it is experimental. So by the time one has taken various medications, then one is on the trip to side effects, which beget side effects and more side effects. So once you're on that train, then there's only one way. It's never ending. So it is a mindset. It is a different way of thinking. It's a different way of being. It's a different way of looking after the body, because the body is self-generating if we allow it to do that. That's why detox, that's why fasting is so good. That's why fasting works, because you've given the body a break. Once you've given the body a break, the body is in a better position to regenerate. heal, serve, and work much better.
Much more efficiently, yes. So Empress Divine, um, I would like you to come back. I'm sorry, return at the next point in time, maybe to share some of your knowledge with us. Because I guess tonight was just an introduction to you. So what you can do, you can tell the family how they could contact you, um, so that you could help them with any problems that they are going through, um, when should need be.
Okay, so let me see. My company is called M.O.T Solutions.
Hmm.
The Let me go back to the beginning and I can show you. Yeah. So my company is called M.O.T Solutions Limited.
It's not there.
I
Put it back.
have a service
Hmm.
which is body M.O.T. So that is a matter of just of communicating with me. So if people are in the south, like London, or in the north, like Manchester, those are two of the places that I'm able to do body M.O.T. You can also find me on social media
Yes,
on Instagram. So my app solutions, you'll be able to find me on Instagram basically, as well as on Facebook.
Empress Divine, it was a pleasure speaking to you, and we look forward in you coming here again to bless us with your presence and to help us elevate to better health. I want to thank you again for coming, and and this is your home. If you have to share something with us, you're welcome. So we'll give you a round of applause, for your presence.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. And yes, I look forward to be supporting both men and women that are needing to balance their bodies. So thank you again.
You're welcome. Okay, bye. Thanks.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. Yeah.